is that Mr. Papandreou has indeed got the numbers to win this. Still trying to confirm that. Stock markets all over the world moving into positive territory on the assumption or the prediction that the Papandreou government would win this vote of confidence. The Dow finishing up today, 40-odd points, and was up again, was up by more than that during the day as well. Said a lot of people in Europe, a lot of senior European politicians say this is the worst financial crisis since the Second World War. Diana Magnay continuing to follow this from just across the road from the Greek Parliament. I don't know if you were able to catch much of what was going on in there, Diana, while we were away from you there. Certainly, people seem to be standing around in the Parliament there.
They do look like they're standing around. I have it in the corner of my eye, Michael. And state TV's, Greek media is reporting that George Papandreou does have it, 155 votes for his new cabinet, which means 145 against. So he has, according to Greek media, won this vote. We're obviously looking at the same pictures as you are as well on a different screen, and I can't see any numbers, and unfortunately I can't read Greek. But we do believe that this vote has gone in his favour, Michael.
Yeah, that's what we're sort of hearing as well, Diana. And that would be a major relief for George Papandreou. It's
absolutely. This has been a fight for him. He's saying that this is, this whole effort to deal with the crisis over the past year has been such a superhuman effort. And one of his pleas in Parliament a little earlier was, don't let that go to nothing. Don't let that fall by the wayside. We need to keep going to save this country. But actually it was interesting, people are beginning to start leaving. They are probably also hearing the news that vote has gone in favour.
Diana, we're just going to listen in. Sorry to interrupt you, Diana. We're going to listen in here. There might be an announcement coming.
298 people, 155 voted in favour of the government, 155 for, gave their confidence vote. Out of 298 who took part, ...143 were against. So government passed the confidence vote as envisaged by the articles of the Constitution. At this point, the session is closed. So the operation of the Parliament is finished. Was devoted. It was, this session is over.
And there you have it, the announcement from the Speaker of the Greek Parliament. The government of George Papandreou has won this vote of confidence. It wasn't by a lot, though. 155 to 143 in this 300-member Parliament. So only just won it, 151. He only needed 151, and he got it. And there will be a lot of sighs of relief in the government of George Papandreou as he now gets that vote of confidence and now has to move ahead with the austerity measures that have to be voted on again by the Parliament, put in place in order to satisfy the demands of the International Monetary Fund. Now, I believe viewers in Europe are going to be joining the Situation Room in progress.
News and a mounting debt crisis. Journalist Anthony Karazafa has been following the debate in Athens and The Prime Minister clearly showing his relief. He's kissing and hugging the various MPs on the way out. Some relief there.
Absolutely, enormous relief. I'm seeing Papandreou, the Prime Minister, very, very happy, embracing many of his socialist MPs, thanking each and every one of them in a very, very rare scene that we're seeing here in Parliament. This was a very crucial vote. Papandreou and his new ministerial lineup survived this crucial confidence vote. Had Papandreou not won this midnight vote, he would have been forced to quit, pushing Greece possibly to a messy restructuring of its multi-billion debt, or even pushing Greece to an outright default. So very, very important moment. Obviously, the first of many hurdles that the government has to overcome. The most important hurdle coming next week, but obviously very good news coming out of Athens, surely to be greeted well from Greece's European peers and the IMF.
Well, we'll see how those protesters greet it. The official figures that we have now, according to AP, that vote won 155 votes to 143 with 2 abstentions. So it was a close-run thing. And, of course, Anthony, he had to change his cabinet, a new finance minister, ahead of this crucial vote tonight.
Absolutely. That was a sacrifice that Papandreou had to make. He had to sack and take away his ex-finance minister, who was the architect of Greece's austerity. He was portrayed as Mr. Austerity, the poster boy of Greece's brutal budget cuts, and he was replaced by a more populist politician within the party who Papandreou relied on to rein in much of this dissent that Papandreou faced last week.
Anthony, we're just seeing scenes now outside that Parliament building that there are some bottles now being thrown at the riot police, and these green laser lights, these very high-powered lasers being shone in the faces of these riot police. Of course, there have been many clashes in recent weeks on the streets of Athens, particularly, and in this square by protesters, many of them from the younger generation who are opposing these austerity measures. Some actually say they prefer to see Greece go bankrupt and actually default than continue with the pain of trying to meet these targets.
In Parliament there, if Yarios Papandreou's new government had failed to get the necessary support, Greece may not have received the next installment of a European bailout, forcing it to default, a vote that could have led to a big ripple effect for global markets. Back here at home, the negotiations to avoid that same fate are said to be progressing. Chief Washington correspondent Jim Angle has an update.
The debt reduction talks led by Vice President Joe Biden have begun what insiders call a make-or-break week, an effort to find $2 trillion or more in spending cuts as part of a deal to increase the debt ceiling. Treasury Secretary Tim Geithner says the negotiators are closer.
We need to make some progress this week to give everybody more confidence that there's a framework that has the votes. Ultimately what matters is how do we get the votes to pass something in the House and the Senate.
And one of the participants, House Majority Leader Eric Cantor, indicated the talks are at a critical moment, saying, quote, "It's crunch time now in those meetings. We're at some really tough stuff." Meanwhile, other